Hebrews and Shebrews, welcome to the channel. Just thought I'd get on here and make a quick comment. These are, well, those are clouds. That's dust, and it kind of doesn't do real much justice in the camera, but we're hitting 50, 45, 50 mile an hour winds here, sustained winds. It's been like that for a couple weeks now. Anyway, I don't have no service out here, so I figured it'd be a good time to pick up and make a good video. Kind of give a little praise report too. There was a young man, well, he was just getting out of high school, and he was dating my niece back when I first started following the Lord. Wow, look at that. And this young man, good night, can't even see. I took a liking to him because I seen potential in him. He had his dad was on the sheriff's department. He had a twin brother. He had aspirations to go in the military, which he did. But he had a good head on his shoulders, and I found that very, how would you say, very rare for a young man to have that kind of accolade about him at, you know, just getting out of high school. You know, his desire was to be successful. And he was dating my niece at the time, and he went into the Army, and that's pretty much, I'd seen him once when he come home for leave, and that's the last time I'd seen him. I hadn't really thought much about him. A little bit ago, I was at the store and I heard his voice, and he has a very distinct Southern voice. And I heard the voice, and I turned around and I was like, man, that seems familiar. And I recognized him because, well, for one of his name tag on his shirt, and he's a local PD now. He done his time in the Army, and now he's a city police officer. And well, I recognized him. He didn't recognize me. Of course, last time he saw me, I was pushing close to 300 pounds. And, you know, he's a young man, so he didn't quite recognize me. And then, of course, when I first started talking to him, I realized that. And I wasn't sure if I was talking to him or his twin brother, because his twin brother is identical to him. And they love to confuse people with that. But anyway, after talking, he still didn't know who I was. You know, and I never thought about saying, hey, it's Matt, you know, and whatnot. But a few things that were said was enough for him to begin putting it together. Well, lo and behold, he still had my phone number. And so he called and he said, you know, is this Matt? And I was, yeah, it's Matt. What are you doing, Timmy? And so we visited a little bit, but I just found encouragement in that because I remember talking to him several times late in the evening after he got out of school or I got off work, and just having long, extensive talks about, you know, what's going on in the world and how young, you know, keeping your head on your shoulders was important, you know, and I always kind of wondered what happened to him when he went in the Army, because I knew he was thinking, you know, they were probably going to ship him to Afghanistan. And you know, of course, I prayed for him and made sure that, you know, kept him in my prayers for a long time. And it was just encouraging for me to see him in a city police uniform, and that he was being successful in that point, that, you know, he stayed on the right path. And so I figured I'd make this video not only because of this blasted sandstorm and I have no service to listen to any music or anything else, but the encouragement that gives us whenever we take someone young who is young and has aspirations of doing good things. And no, we didn't have a major role in it, of course, but you never know. You know, like I said, when he called me, he said, you know, hit him up later and we'd visit a little bit more. He'd like to catch up and whatnot. Just to talk to him and see, you know, what is, you know, where he wants to go from here. That's our job, man. That's our job, not only for our families, but for the world. When we walk in the world, not to the world, but when we walk in the world, to take these relationships sometimes that, you know, there's a lot of young men that come across my path that I look at and I go, nope, I'm not wasting any time on you. And that's a bad attitude to have, because that young man may need that encouragement from someone that might change their life. And you never know what you're going to say to someone, what few words, what one conversation is going to do in someone's life. And we take that for granted over and over and over again. Not only that, we do that within our own realm of influence of people that we come in contact with daily, you know, our own children, our wives, our, you know, spouses, whatnot. We just take it for granted, you know, that we're a good influence around them, you know. And something to think about, something to really think about is, as we're reading Solomon, as we're reading about the reign of Solomon and how Israel is prospering during his first years of being king. Well, we're priests of our own home, and we're kings of our own castle and our own communities. Some of us higher in stature, some of us lower in stature, some of us leaders, some of us not. Regardless of where you're at, you can make a big impact on someone in your life, whether you realize it or not. And like I say all the time, you're going to be a witness for Christ. Whether you are a good witness or a bad witness depends on you, depends on your attitude, depends on your true walk. Because everybody can dress up once a week and look good and go into a building they call it church and play the role. But when people watch you day in and day out, week after week, month after month, year after year, that tells the tale. Man, this is terrible. This is crazy. So let that be something to think about. Y'all be blessed. Be encouraged, and always be frustrated. And I hope y'all's place ain't windy like ours. This is Oilfield Disciple, and I will catch y'all on the next. Bye.